Внимание! Этот перевод, который у меня будет, неофициальный. Он именно дословный. Поэтому не рассчитывайте на полноту информации. Официальный перевод, если что, кстати, еще где-то месяц. Так что приступаем. Так, последний звонок прозвенел, все идут из школы. Девка там уходила, что там думала, походу. Время очень долго длилось. Она уже хотела прийти домой, ну как-то так. Что-то там нелегко там в городе. Хотела релакснуть, отдохнуть от школы примерно, ночь. Идет к басу этому школьному. Как-то дерьмово выглядит автобус. Порой так. Кто использует автобус? Дверь закрыта. Что-то как-то странно выглядело.
Some parts are new, clearly just off the factory floor, while others are battered and bruised from long time wear. Some parts even seem to come from different makes and models of bus.
Вроде
I
какое-то
guess it's not
подозрение.
that strange, she thinks.
Нет,
After all, her old
странный.
school always had a measly budget. You could practically see the road through holes in the floor sometimes. Her new one probably just has those same issues. Aren't those problems all over the country after all? The school probably just had to buy a dilapidated old bus cobbled together from random parts to make ends meet. And besides, she thinks as she watches her classmates pile onto the strange bus without a second thought, none of the other kids seem to think that there's anything weird going on. This must all just be in my head, she thinks. I'm probably just being weird because I'm so tired. I can't let myself become the new girl and the weird girl. The girl is startled as she hears a voice behind her. Hey! She turns and sees a boy that she recognizes. He sits behind her in class. They haven't spoken before now, but he seems friendly enough. You're the new kid in school, aren't you? He says. Yes, my family just moved to town. She tries to talk to him, but she can't help but keep getting distracted by the weird bus. Right. The boy glances at the bus, as if he can sense her discomfort with it. You worried about the bus? I was pretty nervous my first time riding it, but I don't worry about it anymore. You get used to it, he tells her. Right, she says. The girl feels her cheeks going red with embarrassment. She doesn't want her classmate to think that she's scared of riding a bus. What if he tells the other kids that she's frightened of a bus ride? They're all going to think that she's some kind of silly baby. I'm not scared of the bus. It is just a bus, right? The boy grins, as if he knows something that she doesn't know. The girl doesn't want to admit her fear, and so with a defiant step, she climbs the stairs and enters the bus. Once she's on board, her unease doesn't go away. The first thing that she notices is that there is no one in the driver's seat. That's weird. Did the driver just step away to use the bathroom or something? Seems pretty irresponsible to leave the bus unattended. There's a line forming behind her, though, so she doesn't have time to think about this. She takes a seat and stares out the window, keeping to herself. The boy from her class follows and takes a seat next to her. It's a little wild at first, but trust me, you'll get used to it fast. In fact, some of us think it's kind of fun now. The girl blinks in confusion. Who is this weirdo that gets such a kick out of riding the bus? She almost wants to snap at him, to tell him that of course she's not scared of riding the bus. She's ridden the bus hundreds of times back at her old school. But at the same time, there's definitely something weird going on here. And as much as she's trying to play it cool, she's clearly not able to hide her feelings. This boy can easily sense that she's uncomfortable. Suddenly, the bus lurches into action and pulls away from the curb. But wait, how can this be? She never saw the driver get back on board. The bus can't be driving itself, can it? She stands up in her seat and cranes her neck to see. Her eyes bulge from her head in fear and surprise as she realizes that, in fact, there's no one driving the bus at all. The driver's seat is empty, and the wheel is turning by itself as the bus careens down the road. Who's driving the bus? She shouts, but the other kids barely even react to her outburst. Most of them are chattering amongst themselves, and only one or two turn to look at her briefly before shrugging and turning back to their own private conversations. A chorus of giggles behind her alert her to the fact that she's just completely embarrassed herself. What's the matter? You scared? Calls an older boy from the back of the bus, guffawing loudly. Of course no one's driving. Don't you know anything? Leave her alone, says the boy in the seat next to her. It's her first time. She's
Она
never ridden the bus
одна,
before.
что такое?
She's too
Она не
panicked to
одинокая
correct him that
вроде.
yes, she has been on the bus before, but not a bus like this one. What's going on? We're all gonna die, she cries, clutching at the seat in front of her in terror. Despite her fear, though, she can't help but notice that the bus isn't simply speeding into oblivion. The bus obeys all the traffic laws, stopping at stop signs and signaling before turns. It's almost as if the bus itself is alive and aware of what it's doing. That's just how it is, says the boy next to her in a matter-of-fact voice as if he's anticipated her question. Apparently, this is a normal day for kids here in this Oklahoma town. The girl doesn't think she could ever get used to a bus that drives itself. But what comes next is going to prove to be even stranger. But you might want to close your eyes for this next part, says the boy. The girl asks him what he means by that. But before he can answer, she feels a strange wave of sudden nausea overcome her. Her vision goes hazy, and the whole world seems to waver in her sight.
Девочка, что
The
с тобой?
sensation passes quickly, and
Коленки
everything is
опять
quickly back to
затряслись.
normal. Or is it? She turns to look out the window. The city passing
Смотрит
by is familiar.
в
She can
окно.
recognize many of the same buildings that she passed on her way to
Тут
school this morning.
все
Now they seem
разрушено.
strangely altered. The structures are in advanced states of disrepair, with broken windows and boarded up doors.
Двери
The gutters
сломаны,
are
здесь
filled
все
with trash and debris,
раздолбано.
and the streets seem to be abandoned.
Мусор
The
всякий
bus takes a
валяется.
left turn down a side street, and the girl catches a brief glimpse of the town city hall in the distance.
Видит, что школа горит.
City Hall is on fire. Great gouts of hot red
Холл
flame pouring from the shattered
городской.
windows. Sirens echo
Так,
through
все
the air.
в
The
красном.
sky above is an ominous red, filled with angry storm clouds with
Не
jagged
могу
bolts of
перевести.
dry lightning dancing between the
Lights,
thunderheads. She can
dancing
see the
between.
funnel of a distant
Кажется,
tornado
тут
making a
ураган.
touchdown in the hills.
Это молнии
The
бушуют.
bus briefly comes to a stop in front of the
Бас
library,
опять
dutifully obeying a
останавливается.
flickering traffic light. The library's windows are dark, but she can vaguely see
Так,
shapes moving
что
about
там
inside.
темный силуэт
Electric
вроде.
sparks shoot from malfunctioning street
Тут
lamps and down power
раздуман,
cables
так,
flail like angry snakes in
электричество
the street.
фигней
It
страдает.
looks like some terrible natural disaster has hit
Так,
the city. But what could it be?
что здесь
Surely she would
произошло
have heard
вроде?
some warning while she was at school.
Все ли
It wouldn't have just carried on as usual in the classroom while the world
Снова
outside
какой-то
burned.
вопрос, который я
She
не могу
turns to the boy next to
перевести.
her, a fearful
Так,
question on her trembling lips. He seems to know
так,
what's going on.
он
Otherwise,
будто
how could
вроде
he be
ничего
so
не
eerily
замечал.
calm while everything outside the bus is falling apart or on fire?
Блин, что
What
с
happened
тобой,
to the city?
пацан?
Was there an earthquake?
Чё?
We would have felt it. Was there a hurricane? Every possible disaster scenario runs through her head as she desperately tries to think of an explanation.
Ей
But what
ей
happens
что-то
next
страшно
reveals to
стало.
her that there's no natural explanation for the strange sights that assail her
Что-то
eyes.
странно.
As she watches through the
Так
window,
как глаза
a
видят,
squadron
это
of
вот
armed soldiers
вояк.
march down the street toward the darkened library. Suddenly the doors fly open and people pour out, screaming as if they're being chased by some unspeakable evil. The girl expects that the soldiers must be here for disaster relief. She is horrified. Instead of helping the escaping library patrons, they instead open fire upon the
Они не
crowd.
помогали, а
The
наоборот
girl screams in
убивали.
terror, but the other kids barely even notice.
Она
They're too
охреневала,
busy
девка.
talking or laughing. One kid is so disinterested in the spectacle outside that he's playing with a handheld
Всем
game
пофиг
console
было,
rather
будто
than watch the
ничего
carnage
не
unfold.
было.
How can this be happening? Has the
Что
whole
здесь
world gone crazy?
происходит? Они что,
She's filled with terror, and she
сумасшедшие?
wonders, is the whole town under siege? Is her house still standing? Are her parents safe? Where is this bus even taking her?
Сохранить.
I told you that you might want to cover your eyes.
Опять что-то
says the boy next
спрашивает.
to her.
Ну, вроде не
The bus
хочет.
continues
Хочет,
on
не
its
надо.
route, passing all sorts of terrifying sights.
Здесь все
Parking lot has been
горело.
transformed into a mass grave. She
Трансформируется
watches as
там
uniformed police line up peaceful citizens against
полиция,
the brick
людей
wall to
убивают
brutally
также.
execute them by firing squad. Mass riots are
Отряды.
taking place in the town's central park. People are yelling obscenities and pounding one another into pulp, while armed law enforcement officers sweep in to escalate the situation. The air is thick with
Ситуация
screams,
странная.
gunfire, and the
Скрин,
smell of
конфайр,
burning bodies.
сборник ходит.
The shopping mall is overrun.
Это
Giant
что такое?
spiders, which
Пауки,
chase
короче,
screaming
какие-то
shoppers out of the
огромные из
exits.
магазина
She
выходят.
sees rats as big as cars scurrying out of the
Большие
alleyways, grabbing
крысы.
random people with their taloned paws and biting their heads
Типичный
off
день
with their long,
Чернобыля.
sharp incisors.
Так,
On the
не могу
distant hills, she
перевести.
can also make out the outlines of even stranger creatures that she cannot identify. Dinosaurs, aliens, demons. She doesn't come from a
Демон, там
particularly religious
пришельцы.
family. But the sights that she sees today
Правильно
definitely make her think
сбацать.
that she might be seeing a glimpse into the
Remake,
maw of
think.
hell itself. The girl has never seen anything so awful in all
Не
her
понимаю,
life.
что здесь
To her
вроде
surprise,
происходит.
several of the other kids cheer as the
Они
bus
там
drives
начали
past a
хлопки
gaggle of
давить.
walking corpses. They're mutilated and
Увидели
half
зомбятину.
decomposed, but somehow
Поэтому
still
теперь...
mobile, shambling down the sidewalk and moaning. How can the other kids be enjoying this? Yeah, yeah, yeah!
Да,
chant
да,
the kids.
да.
Zombies,
Да.
that rules!
Зомби
Maybe we'll get to see them eat some
прикольные.
brains for once,
Ред
cries the older
Рулес,
boy in the back of the
maybe
bus with
Chris,
sudden glee.
the boy.
What is going on?
What's
rebukes the
going
girl.
on? Repair
It's just the
again.
usual bus ride, says the boy next to her. Don't
Опять
worry, I
что-то
felt the
там.
same way
Кто
when
в
I first
дворе,
started at this
вон.
school,
Ага,
but it's really not so bad. I
ага.
mean, it's
Что-то
kind of cool, isn't
такое.
it? The girl opens her mouth to respond, but she's suddenly overcome with that
Так.
familiar feeling of nausea.
Фамильяр
The
фильм
world quivers briefly in
начинался.
front of her,
Есть
and
снова
suddenly,
ее накрыло
everything is back
опять.
to normal. The sky is clear and blue,
Все
the buildings are no longer
нормализовалось. Все
dilapidated.
опять.
People are bustling
Закрылся
in the
свои
streets, going
места.
about their usual business. There's no sign
Видно
of
все
any
так
of the
же.
horrors that she just witnessed.
Так.
No fires, no soldiers, no monsters, and no
Солдаты,
zombies.
монстры,
The
зомбятина.
boy next to her commented that they must have
Камень
been
твой
reaching some last stop.
стоп.
From around the bus, she hears several other kids groan in
Чё он
frustration.
там видела
They were
вроде?
hoping that they
Что-то
would get to
радует.
see some exciting zombie
Радуется
carnage,
вроде.
but it looks like that show will have to wait for another time. The bus slowly comes to a halt, and the girl tenses as she hears the hiss of its air brakes. The
Что-то
door
офигела,
opens,
все
and the
уже
girl realizes
возвращается
that the bus has
домой.
stopped in front of her house. She's relieved to see that her house is standing, and she can see her mother
Так,
gardening in the front yard, safe and sound. Was it all a dream? This
Это
is my
был
stop,
сон.
says the girl, standing up as if in a
Так, она там
daze.
уже...
The first time's always a little wild,
Что-то опять
says the boy as she
спрашивается.
leaves. Don't worry,
Спрашиваю,
tomorrow will be
там
easier.
творит Тимуров.
The girl steps onto the curb and away from the bus. The doors close
Выходит
behind
из
her, and the bus
автобуса.
pulls away, continuing on its
Михаил
journey.
Фёрен.
Did you enjoy your first day of school today? Asks the girl's
Что
mother.
там у тебя
The
произошло в
girl can
школе?
only
Спросил
stare in
он.
shock as the bus drives
Он
away.
была в
What just
шоке.
happened? Did a
Что это
self-driving bus
было?
just take her on
Где
a tour of
драйвинг?
hell before bringing her
Ага,
right to her own
Фёрен,
doorstep? Or did she really just imagine that whole
Фёрен,
experience?
Just Image.
As you astute Foundation veterans have
Так,
probably already put together,
аномалия
this new girl at school
очередная.
didn't imagine anything she just
Так,
saw.
Image.
That girl just had her first
Так,
encounter
короче,
with
это
SCP-3583.
SCP-3583.
At face value,
Так,
SCP-3583 resembles an ordinary school bus, albeit one composed of completely random parts, all held together by some unknown
Он
force.
выглядит очень
The bus is
подношенным.
self-driving and in fact resists any
Интересно,
attempt
так,
by a human to sit in the
неизвестно,
driver's
кто
seat.
ведет
At
этот
some point,
автобус.
SCP-3583 became attached to a particular school in an undisclosed Oklahoma town for reasons the SCP Foundation still doesn't
Это
understand.
школа, походу, SCP
Every school day
Foundation.
at 3:45 p.m.,
Так,
it appears
3:45
outside of the
p.m.
school just as the school day
Он
comes to a close. The bus can
появляется.
hold up to 56 children
Ага,
and up to 8
56
adults.
чебуреков
If it
может
judges that not enough
вмещать.
children have boarded,
Так,
SCP-3583 will begin to honk
SCP-3583,
its horn.
там
The horn has a
приманивает своей
peculiar
херней.
hypnotic effect on all children
И
within
это
hearing
вот
range.
звук,
They will be compelled to drop whatever they are
как
doing
бы,
and board the
да.
bus, meaning that
Здесь,
the bus
короче,
has some innate
в автобус
cognitohazardous
входит.
properties. If the bus still feels that it hasn't reached its quota,
И
it will
срыв.
increase the volume of its horn until it has attracted enough
Он
children that it can
приманивает,
begin
пока
its route.
автобус не
Depending on how many
заполнится.
adults have boarded, SCP-3583
Так,
has two distinct patterns of behavior. If 4 or fewer
перевести.
adults are aboard, SCP-3583 enters behavior
Это был
pattern 1.
единственный
In this
экземпляр.
pattern, SCP-3583 will dematerialize and enter a parallel reality
Понял.
called
Он типа телепортируется в другую
SCP-3583-A.
вселенную, 3883А.
SCP-3583-A superficially resembles the normal
Норм
geography of the same Oklahoma
география.
town, with some minor but very important changes. The typical city landscape is replaced with a hellish alternative full of crumbling architecture, marauding monsters, shambling zombies, fires and natural disasters, and instances of military violence and civil unrest. SCP-3583 will travel through this terrifying hell dimension along normal bus routes, studiously obeying all traffic laws and pausing to re-enter our own reality, only to deliver kids to their own homes. Interestingly, SCP-3583 only offers door-to-door service and ignores all conventionally posted bus stops. If 5 or more adults are aboard, SCP-3583 enters behavior pattern 2. In this pattern, SCP-3583 will travel to the sites of mass casualty events, seemingly arriving in the days or weeks preceding the incident, where it will circle the area for approximately 45 to 100 minutes. After this, it will enter pattern 1, delivering each child passenger to their home, before then delivering its adult passengers home as well. Known mass casualty sites visited include Pompeii, Nanking, and the World Trade Center in New York. Passengers inside SCP-3583 can take photos or video through the bus window, and all footage shot from within SCP-3583 matches exactly with archive footage taken at the mass casualty site at the time that SCP-3583 supposedly visited. However, SCP-3583 itself has never been reported by witnesses at any site or seen in any archive footage of any site. Luckily, SCP-3583 has proven to be a boon to this struggling school district. The school principal noted that SCP-3583 has a better safety record than any human driver. In addition, it never calls in sick and is never late for a pickup or drop-off. Every student that has received a ride in SCP-3583 has arrived safely, if a little shaken, at their home destination. And best of all, SCP-3583 is saving the school a lot of money on both driver pay and vehicle maintenance. Money that the school has used to hire a new music teacher. The general consensus of the local community is that as long as SCP-3583 wants to work as a school bus and continues to do a good job, who are they to look a gift horse in the mouth? Although it still might behoove some of SCP-3583's more sensitive riders to shut their eyes and plug their ears until they get safely home. The SCP Foundation first became aware of SCP-3583 when students began posting cell phone footage of their rides online. Although the Foundation has successfully scrubbed information about SCP-3583 from the internet, it has been less successful in figuring out what to do with the so-called school bus from hell. Foundation field agents are so far unable to explain SCP-3583's motive or operations. Conventional attempts to contain SCP-3583, such as impounding the bus or towing it to the junkyard, are futile. SCP-3583 will immediately dematerialize, falling apart into a rubble of disparate bus parts, as the force binding it together appears to abandon this plane. However, SCP-3583 will always return the next school day, ready and willing to begin its afternoon shift. Agents have considered closing the affected school, but feared that would only move the problem, as SCP-3583 would simply attach itself to another school. The SCP Foundation is currently monitoring the situation and has several agents embedded within the school district posing as regular staff. Because of this immense difficulty in containment, SCP-3583 has been given the Keter object class. Considering the number of SCP anomalies that involve horrific bodily harm being done to their victims, it's honestly a breath of fresh air to be dealing with one this seemingly benevolent. A little post-traumatic stress disorder aside, of course. And while Hellbus may be what most around the Foundation have taken to referring to this particular anomaly, I'm going to stick to my own name, the Tragic School Bus. Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, like Man-Eating Bus, SCP-2086, rerouting, for another piece of public transportation with a terrifying secret. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single anomaly, as we delve further and further into the SCP Foundation's classified archives.
Ну ладно. Перевод был хреновый. Я это сам знаю. Но, ладно. Сойдет. Хотя я уже в 6 класс перехожу. Ну ладно. Всем фолловерам пока. Ну и просто зрителям.